Milliken has a global design team. We have designers in America, the UK and China, and now Australia. In 2014, we all got together, all the designers across Milliken from a global perspective. At this particular meeting, we put together some trends and some thought processes that we felt conveyed where maybe popular culture or the way we were living, the way we were thinking was going, but also how this could maybe affect carpet and the flooring industry. When we look at a trend, we have to look at the inspiration behind it and why we think it's going to move forward. This particular concept or trend, we looked at the way in which ceramicists such as Grayson Perry, Wei Wei and Edmond Duval are now being recognised as artists within their own right, with pottery and ceramics being valued as an art form, sitting within their own gallery space. This was very apparent in such exhibitions as Salone Milan and Maison Objet Paris 2014, where we saw beautiful colour palettes of pottery and ceramics displayed artistically in glazed colour waterfalls. When you take into consideration all the things that are happening in the world or happening within our own communities or in the design community, then you can slowly see how something grows and starts to move into something that's slightly bigger. You can note that in restaurants we're beginning to move away from white plates. The plates are made from earthenware. The colours are beautiful and they reflect the food that we're eating, so the food and the plates have some synergy together. As well as identifying this trend, remember we did this back in 2014. We then started to work on the collection in 2015. Towards the end of the year, BBC Two had the Great Pottery Throwdown. So that's a programme that took potters, very similar to the bake-off scenario, and they would throw their own pots. And so this actually told us that this trend or this thought process was coming to mainstream. I don't necessarily think this particular collection is about the pottery and ceramics themselves. I really think you have to relate it to its colour palette. So at the moment there is definitely a surge in creative craft pastimes. Rediscovering this traditional art form, I think, has led to many creative workshops and pop-up pottery studios starting. It's very important today with mass commercialism that we have something very special, artisan and unique for ourselves. So Jackie Jones, senior designer, took the inspiration, the colour palette and used it as a basis to begin her design work on glazed clay. Glazed clay is a really beautiful product to work with within your interior space. Some colorations within the collection provide a higher level of contrast in terms of tone and pattern, with others providing soft and delicate vision. Names such as kiln wash, pin dust and overglaze all give narrative to the traditional craftsmanship of the artistry of the potter. It has different levels of lustre and pile height, with matte and gloss stylising that emulates the creative expression of pottery. Glazed clay and this particular product is made from 100% regenerated Econile yarn with a 90% recycled content cushion backing. So there are 30 colours within the collection of glazed clay. The colour palette reflects a very tonal spectrum of colour. Pigments and shades have an almost handcrafted composition to them, all blended with warm tones through the colour of traditional clay. They are easy to use together, understated and coordinating in their depth and accent. This should appeal to the design community and interior designers. Easy greys such as chalk base, grey speckle and soft clay sit alongside such contemporaries as black core, raku and white crackle, creating beautiful compositions to be used within the modern interior. So glazed clay has been created with a view that it will complement other Milliken design collections, making it easy for the designer to specify a complete interior package or a scheme that works as one. The design is laid in a brick format. I think this enables the designer to be innovative with the colour palette. They can build colour and layouts and various combinations throughout their interior. Its design is very modern, and yet at the same time very organic in its flow across the floor plane, maybe from dark to light and colour changing in contrast. It'll be really interesting to see where this craft movement goes from here, as Milliken is part of it in 2016 with our collection Glazed Clay. I'm sure its journey has only just begun.